Hey everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Rosie Schwartz. Happy long weekend. Today, I don't know if everybody saw my Instagram post, Facebook post yesterday. We're going to a friend's today for a barbecue, and I thought I'd make a dessert. We're having glazed cinnamon rolls. So, this morning I actually cheated. I made it in my bread maker, the dough, and we've got lots of dough. Oops. So I cut the dough in half because I made double. So what I did was I cut it in half, and I might save the other half. I might make it. You can always make it and make the cinnamon rolls and then freeze them. Don't bake them till you're ready to eat them. So anyhow, so I've got my dough here, and what we're gonna do, I've got my 9x13 sprayed. What we have to do is we have to roll this out, obviously. So we're gonna roll it out and get it pretty big, I wanna say, because we want to fill that pan. And if we don't fill the pan, we've also got that other piece that we can also use. I have got some melted butter and some cinnamon and sugar for the inside. If you want the recipe, let me know. This recipe for the dough is actually one that I found in a bread machine book. But you can also, you know what? You can also make it by hand too, or even mix like in your KitchenAid mixer or whatever. But I'm sure you can, figure it out. So we want to get this pretty thin, because we don't want doughy cinnamon rolls, or bready, I want to say. Okay, so we've got it semi-square. I'm going to take my melted butter, and you can use as much or as little as you want. More, the probably better. Just kind of soften it, melt it, I want to say. And you know what? I'm just going to pour this on here. My mom used to do this when I was little. She just used to pour it on. Makes it that much better. Helps them from drying out when they're baking. Helps the sugar and the cinnamon caramelize. Makes it oh so yummy. Okay, so we've got our butter on there. Just kind of spread it around. Get it to the edges. Good. It's been a long time since I've made these. Okay. And then I've got my cinnamon and sugar mixture in this bowl, and just kind of stirred it together, and we're just going to generously sprinkle this on here. Coat it. Oh, the smell of the cinnamon. Perfect. Okay, now the fun begins. So we're going to try and roll this very carefully. I got some butter on my thumb, so it makes it a little bit slippery, but there we go. So we're just going to roll it. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to cut these. Good. Oh, they're going to be good. So now what we're going to do is we are going to cut them, and we're going to put them in our pan, and then we have to let them rise for an hour. So let's get them. I just want to move this back here so you guys can see this. There we go. Oops. Without it falling apart. Okay. There we go. Okay. So so basically we're just going to stand them in our pan. I would say to make them probably 1-inch thick rolls, I want to say, because they will rise. Okay, so let's fill this pan up. Okay, so we're going to put the last one in the pan. There's our pan. They smell good. They look pretty good, and I think they might be pretty good. So this is actually both batches of the dough. The original recipe that I was following for the rolls was, it only made 9. So 9 people, it ain't gonna cut it. So anyhow, these are going to sit on the counter somewhere warm, whatever. I'm gonna cover them with a tea towel, and they're gonna rise for an hour, an hour and a half, till they're double in size, and then we'll bake them. When it gets to an hour, we'll double check them, make sure everything is good, and we'll go from there. So we'll see you in an hour. Okay, so our oven is preheating, and we're gonna bake these cinnamon rolls for about 25 to 30 minutes at 375 degrees. They've risen for an hour. Look at the pan, how full it is. Oh, there. And just think, when they bake, they're gonna get bigger. So it's a good thing we made them 1 inch thick. Anyhow, the oven is preheating, and we're gonna work on the glaze. Now, we're not gonna put the glaze on till after they come out of the oven. And typically I would take them out of the pan, put them on a wire rack or a fancy little plate, and then drizzle the glaze over top. But because we are taking these with us to go today, I'm actually gonna drizzle the glaze on them probably about 10-15 minutes after they come out of the oven, because I don't want like all the glaze to be on the bottom of the pan. I want them, you know, some of the glaze to stay on top of the cinnamon rolls. So anyhow, we're gonna make the glaze, and we're just gonna set it aside while these bake for 25 to 30 minutes, remember that. So I've got 1 cup of icing sugar. To the 1 cup of icing sugar, I'm gonna add half a teaspoon of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of milk. You don't have to add all the milk because you don't want it too runny. So I would say add, you know, a tablespoon and then give it a good stir and see how that is. You can always add a little more. Can't take it away, unfortunately. And you don't want your glaze like super runny either. Give that a good stir. Whoops. And we're gonna pour the rest of it. So 2 tablespoons of milk it is. You can also do a cream cheese frosting, I would say. That might be pretty good. Okay, so there's our nice smooth glaze. It's not too runny. It's perfect. So let's get these in the oven. Okay, so our cinnamon buns are out of the oven. Look at them. They look good and they smell so good. So we let them sit for a bit. Now we're just going to drizzle that glaze over top. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to make sure that every one of them is covered. And you know what? I'm not even going to spread it. I wouldn't spread it. I would just drizzle it like this. And in this other dish here, we have the ends, which probably don't have much filling in them, but we will put a little bit over top of those too. There we go. Let's put this over the rest. And then we'll give them a shot. I'm not going to dig into the pan here because that's to go, but we will try one of these other ones. Let me get a good one that's got some filling in it. Oh yeah. Look at the bottom. So even though these are what I call the rejects. The ends that don't have much in them. Perfect, nice and tender, not doughy, not bready, not, oh, so good. Anyhow, everybody, have a great week. I'm gonna take my cinnamon buns and we're gonna head out to some friends. Enjoy your week, we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.